I've always been the kind of person who leans hard toward logic. I don't believe in ghosts, I don't believe in an afterlife. And if something feels off, I usually try to explain it rather than jump to conclusions. But there have been a couple of moments in my life that I just can't fully explain. And while I still wouldn't say I believe, I'm definitely not as quick to dismiss things as I used to be. This is one of those moments. When I was 16, I was staying with my grandparents for the summer, like I usually did. One weekend, my aunt and uncle asked if I could house sit while they were out of town. For a 16-year-old who had just gotten his driver's license, that felt like freedom. My own place, no supervision, for a few days. It was perfect. I packed up my PlayStation, rented some games and movies, grabbed a bunch of snacks, and headed over. The first night, completely normal. But there was this feeling. Nothing I could point to, nothing actually happening. Just this quiet, constant sense that something wasn't right. Like I wasn't alone. I told myself it was just nerves. First time alone in someone else's house. Old place, unfamiliar sounds. It made sense, so I ignored it. The next morning, that feeling was still there. Not stronger, just persistent. Sitting in the background. I made coffee, let the dogs out again, went through a normal routine, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Eventually, I decided I needed a break, so I left to meet some friends. I put the dogs in their crates, locked everything up again, and headed out. I was gone maybe 4 hours, and the second I walked back in, something was wrong. The dogs were losing it, not excited, not happy to see me. This was panic. They were whining, shaking, howling. One of them even had foam around its mouth. These were calm, lazy dogs. They never acted like this. I opened their crates, and they wouldn't come out. They just stayed pressed into the back corners, like they were terrified of something. That's when I started to feel it too. That fear. I checked the house. Every room, every closet, every window, every door. Everything was locked. Everything looked exactly the same. Empty. Then I remembered the upstairs. The house was old, late 1800s, and it used to be a duplex. The upstairs was its own apartment. My aunt and uncle didn't use it much anymore. My uncle had a home office up there, but the door stayed locked. It was on this enclosed porch off the kitchen, and something in my gut told me I needed to check it.
So I unlocked the door and went upstairs. And right away, something felt off. One of the computers was on. That didn't make sense. My uncle, I thought none, was keen. It was not none. I stood there for a second, trying to rationalize it. Maybe he just forgot. That's what I told myself. So I shut it down, unplugged everything again, and went back downstairs. Locked the door. The dogs eventually calmed down a bit, came out of their crates, curled up on the couch like nothing happened, and I tried to convince myself everything was fine. It wasn't. Around 8 p.m., one of the dogs suddenly shot up, completely stiff. Fur waved along his back, just staring at the upstairs door. Then he started growling, low, deep, focused. I tried calling him, distracting him. Nothing worked. He didn't break eye contact. After a few minutes, he settled down. But the feeling in the room, it didn't go away. Around 11 p.m., both dogs started again. This time, worse. And that's when I heard it. A creaking sound, coming from upstairs. Not random, not pipes, not wind. It was rhythmic, like weight shifting, like someone moving slowly across the floor. That's when my brain flipped into panic. I went to check the upstairs door, and it was unlocked. I know I locked it. At that point, there was only one thought in my head. Someone is in the house. I backed into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, because apparently that's what terrified 16-year-olds do, and checked the back porch, still locked. No signs of entry, but the creaking kept going. I walked back to the stairs, heart pounding, and opened the door. And the second I did, silence. I turned on the lights and went upstairs, expecting to find someone. Anyone. Nothing. Everything exactly as I left it. Computers off. Cords unplugged. No movement. No sign of anyone. I went back downstairs, locked the door again, feeling stupid, but still completely on edge. I decided I was done. Put on a movie, laid on the couch with the dogs, eventually fell asleep. Then, at 2:00 a.m., I woke up. The dogs were in full panic again, and the creaking was back. But this time, there was something else. A sound I will never forget. A dial tone, clear as day, coming from upstairs. Then, the sound of a modem dialing, numbers being punched in. That unmistakable early 2100s internet connection sound. Trying to connect, failing, then trying again, over and over and over. I sat there, frozen, trying to convince myself I was dreaming. I wasn't. I grabbed the knife again and went to the door, unlocked it, opened it. Silence. I went upstairs, checked everything. Again. Still unplugged. Still off. Still nothing there. I went back down, locked the door, and 10 minutes later, it started again. The dialing, the creaking. Only now, it sounded more like footsteps. The dogs were completely losing it. I sat there for maybe 30 minutes, just listening, hoping it would stop. It didn't. That's when I hit my limit. I grabbed the dogs, got them into the car, locked the house, and left. As fast as I could, I drove straight to my grandparents' house. Didn't look back. The next morning, I told them everything, fully expecting them to think I'd lost it. They didn't. They just listened, quietly. And then they told me things like that had been happening in that house for years. My cousin used to wake up screaming about a shadow standing over his bed. My uncle was found the gas stove turned on, but not lit, filling the house. Doors opening, things moving. Small things, but constant. I still don't call myself a believer. I still try to think logically. But that weekend is something I've never been able to explain. And honestly, I think that's the part that scares me the most.